Welcome back to another daily Bible study time. So, take your daily Bible study sheets and take your Bibles, and let's see what the Lord has for us today. So, we're reading in John chapter 4, verses 16 through 19, and we're continuing the story of Jesus and the woman at the well. Now, when we left them yesterday, Jesus and the woman were talking about living water, and in verse 15, this woman wants the living water that Jesus is offering. So let's start reading in verse 16. Jesus saith unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou hast is not thy husband. In that saidst thou truly. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. So picture this as they continue on with their dialogue. Jesus says, Hey, why don't you call your husband? Go get him and then come back over here and we can continue this conversation. And then the woman says, I don't have a husband. And then Jesus says, yeah, you're right. You've said truly you don't have a husband. In fact, you've had 5 husbands in the past, and the man you're living with now is not your husband. And then the woman says, I think you're a prophet. You must be a prophet. So that's what's going on in this story. Now, keep in mind that Jesus had never met this woman before. The woman had never met Jesus before. But somehow Jesus knew who this woman was and what her life was like. So the question 1, what did Jesus ask the woman to do in verse 16? What did he ask her to do? He said, go and call your husband and then come back. Again, the space there is not too big, but try to fill it in there. And she went to call her husband, or Jesus said, go call your husband and then come back or come hither. Question 2. What did Jesus tell the woman about her family in verse 17 and 18? Well, we just went over that, right? So, one thing, she didn't actually have a husband, but she had 5 husbands in the past. And the man that she was living with at that point was not her husband at all. So, you could try to write that in there, that she's had 5 husbands before, that she doesn't have a husband now, and that the man that she's living with right now is not even her husband. What does it say in verse 19 for what did the woman say about Jesus? Well, in verse 19, you could read it. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. That's what the woman said about Jesus. She said, you must be a prophet. And you could fill that in there as well. See, I make this really easy on you. You can just fill in the answers, but I do want you to think. It's right here in the verse. You don't have to think too hard. What did Jesus ask the woman to do? What did Jesus tell her about her family that she didn't think anyone else knew? And what did the woman say about Jesus and what kind of person he was? Okay, and that's it. Really short and sweet. I'll see you tomorrow for the Friday lesson.